Let's kick things off with a story that many listeners may relate to feeling anxious and exposed when speaking in public. Matt, can you share what triggered your focus on communication anxiety?
Absolutely. My journey began at age 14 on my first day of high school. After my English teacher singled me out for a speech contest, I found myself unprepared for the sheer size of the audience. The nerves hit hard, and a wardrobe mishap during my karate demonstration only amplified my panic and embarrassment. That experience truly made me realize how anxiety can hijack our ability to communicate.
That's a powerful example. Many of us have felt that same rush of nerves, whether during a presentation or even just speaking up in meetings. Statistically, how common is this anxiety?
It's incredibly widespread. Research shows that about 85% of people feel anxious in high-stakes speaking situations. Frankly, I suspect the other 15% simply haven't faced a situation stressful enough yet. This fear impacts not just public speaking, but even everyday conversations, like giving feedback or asking someone out.
And these feelings don't just affect us, they ripple out. Before we dive into strategies, can you explain how a speaker's anxiety influences the audience?
Certainly. When an audience observes a visibly anxious communicator, it often triggers what I call second-hand anxiety. The listeners feel uncomfortable and distracted, making it much harder for them to absorb the speaker's message. So it's not just about use, it's about connecting effectively with others.
Let's dig deeper into the origins of this anxiety. Matt, why are we so wired to worry about communicating in front of others?
Great question. Our fear is rooted in evolution. In early human societies, maintaining social status in groups of roughly 150 people was vital for survival, determining access to resources and even reproduction. Speaking up risked that status, so anxiety served as a protective mechanism.
That's fascinating. So even though we're no longer fighting for food or shelter in clans, our brains still react to public speaking as a potential threat to our social standing?
Exactly. It's a mismatch between ancient instincts and modern contexts. Our bodies respond with the same physiological symptoms: racing hearts, sweating, shaking whenever we perceive social evaluation. That's why even seasoned professionals can feel nervous before a big presentation.
Given these deep roots, is it realistic to expect we can ever fully eliminate communication anxiety?
Honestly, that's not a bad thing. Anxiety provides energy and focus, signaling that what we're doing matters. The key is learning to manage it, so it motivates rather than overwhelms us.
Let's shift gears and talk strategy. What are some practical ways people can manage both the symptoms and sources of communication anxiety?
Managing anxiety starts with addressing physiological symptoms like taking deep, controlled breaths before speaking, similar to techniques used in yoga or Tai Chi. Broad gestures can channel nervous energy, while holding something cold, such as a chilled water bottle, helps reduce sweating or blushing by lowering your core temperature.
That's helpful for the body, but what about the mental side? Many people spiral into self-doubt when anxiety strikes.
Right, the cognitive side is just as important. Instead of fighting anxiety, acknowledge it. This is me feeling nervous because this matters. This acceptance interrupts the negative feedback loop and gives you more control. Walking or even visualizing a positive outcome can also recenter your mindset.
Interesting. What about the fear of forgetting what to say, which is incredibly common?
Preparation is key. Have a simple structure like what, so what, now what. For example, start with your main idea, explain its significance, then outline the next steps. This reduces the chance of blanking out and helps the audience remember your points better.
Are there ways to shift the audience's attention to reduce pressure?
Definitely. Redirect focus by showing a video, polling the audience, or handing out materials. Even in small groups, asking a question shifts attention and creates engagement. giving you a breather while boosting participation.
Let's explore a mindset shift. Many view communication as a performance with strict right and wrong ways. How can reframing it as a conversation help reduce anxiety?
Great point. Unlike singing or sports, where errors are obvious and penalized, communication isn't about perfection. There's no single right way. By treating conversations as collaborative rather than performative, we relieve pressure and create room for authentic connection.
So instead of aiming for a flawless delivery, focusing on the audience's needs and using inclusive language like we and US can make it feel more natural?
Exactly. Involving the audience through questions and conversational language not only reduces your own stress, but also fosters engagement. For instance, asking for feedback or opinions turns a speech into a dialogue, making both you and your listeners more comfortable.
Does this approach work for all types of communication, even high-pressure settings like weddings or boardrooms?
Absolutely. Take Irma, a 72-year-old grandmother who overcame decades of fear to give a heartfelt wedding toast. With patience and practice, she reframed her mindset and succeeded. No matter the scenario, wedding, meeting, protest, anyone can learn to manage anxiety and speak up without freaking out.